Hello, everybody! Live from the Xfinity studio on a beautiful Friday afternoon. This is the PHLY Eagles podcast presented by Bet365 and Ashley. And it's a Friday. You know what that means? We've got the professor in the studio, locked and loaded, ready to go. Talk about this Chiefs-Eagles game. We've got EJ Smith. We got a lot to talk about. Some injury news. Obviously, you've been crunching the tape. You're up till 5 a.m. last night watching the Chiefs. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you guys?
Not too bad. Not too bad. EJ, how about you?
I'm excited for the show.
How long are you going to do this? The homage.
I mean, I listened to
What's
the
an
guy
homage?
do a podcast for a long time, so there are some things that are natural and some that aren't natural. But
I'm curious at what point it's going to stop being an homage and it's just going to become the new you.
maybe it is already the new me. I will say the one homage I really regret is taking the Chiefs and spread your wins and fly, which we will talk about in the show.
Interesting.
Decent tease, right?
11 and a half, was it?
I'm begging here. 11 and a half.
Ooh.
It's a big number.
Let's get to it. We got lots to get to. Lots to get to. EJ, give me the news first from the Novica complex, and then we're gonna buckle down here. We're gonna start with Eagles offense against Chiefs defense, but give me the news first.
Yeah, I think the main headline is that Dallas Goedert was not at practice on Friday. I would not expect to see him play on Sunday. We'll see about next week. I mean, even the nature of the injury, we don't really know exactly when it happened, but again, I don't think he'll be out there, and I think that is a big loss for the Eagles offense. Will Shipley also still sidelined. I'd be watching to see if he's going to end up on IR this weekend. But yeah, that is pretty much, those are the main headlines.
It's really gonna bother me if they put him on IR
Because of the Gabe Hall thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why wait? You had a spot. What are they doing? I don't think maybe they think he's gonna be only out 2 games or 3 games.
Maybe. Could be.
The Gabe Hall thing is weird. It was weird. He did only play 5 snaps, even though they were down a guy.
Yeah.
So
It's not even about the snaps. It's not even about him.
it's about
of
developing
course.
him.
We don't need to start
Sure.
the show here again. It's crazy. But with Goddard out, that's actually going to bring us to the big takeaway presented by Xfinity, because I don't know if we're going to need to separate you guys because you are already on opposite sides of the importance of Dallas Goedert. But
I was wondering if the 4-person setup for the 3 people
you might
was just to get more distance
you
between
might need
me
to
and
come a
EJ.
little bit towards me here.
Uh-huh.
But I know that you are armed, as always, Deniz, with support for why Dallas Goedert matters in the running game.
Yeah, I mean, we can get into some of the predictability from formation and personnel grouping against Dallas in the run game. But Grant Calcaterra in this last game, I mean, I had him down in my notes 6 different times as being the primary reason that a run play failed. You know, duo run, he gets destroyed by the defensive tackle. Outside zone lead, he whiffs on his climb to the linebacker. Mid zone run, he gets muscled through by the defensive end. Inside zone read, the defensive end easily beats him inside for a TFL. Outside zone lead, his block is shed easily by the Mike linebacker, and the run blows up. Another duo run, the rookie defensive end easily beats him for a gain of 0. The last 8 running back runs by the Eagles were all unsuccessful. That's hard to do, to have 8 straight plays that are unsuccessful in the NFL. And they were essentially asking Grant Calcaterra to block defensive ends throughout the game. And you know, I know like it's been, you know, Fran has been kind of pushing for using Fred Johnson in that role. Putting Grant Calcaterra in that position is not putting your players in, you know, position to succeed. And we've been talking about this now for multiple years. And I really don't understand like why every tight end on the Eagles roster has to be like a guy who was like a wide receiver in college who they're developing. Like, why can't you just get a guy who can block? Like,
Now he has his kinks. It's fine.
yeah. And so
Do you think we're going to see any change to that this week, EJ?
I would like to see it personally, because I've obviously got it in in Swooper here. I don't know. I think Nick Sirianni was asked about it today, and he was citing competitive advantage without not say very much on the topic. I do wonder, like, he talked about like EJ Jenkins like taking strides as a blocker behind the scenes, but it's just
he's been working on for 2 years, he said.
Yeah, but it's just
again a college wide receiver. Like,
right,
exactly. Why are you developing wide receivers to become blockers in the NFL instead of guys who could block before?
Yeah, especially with as much uncertainty as there was with Dallas Goedert all offseason. It's not like you could have even leaned on his presence as a reason not to lean into that. So, yeah, I mean, again, I'm not really sure what to expect with the 6 offensive linemen, but it is definitely on my radar going into the game.
The numbers bear it out. Last year, Deniz, with Dallas Goedert on the field, 5.7 yards per carry, 2.9 yards per carry before contact per rush, whereas without him, 5.7 drops to 4.5, and 2.9 drops to 1.7. That takes you from being, and as you see here in a nice graphic from Andrew, very nicely done, takes you from being one of the best running games in football to just an average one.
Yeah, and we did all kinds of filtering with this last year with Jalen Hurts on the field, off the field, Saquon running, Saquon not running, all those things. And Dallas Goedert was clearly an impactful, not just statistically, but you can see it on the field.
And yet, EJ, you think that he doesn't matter.
I didn't say that, but I do think
I did see Isaiah Rodgers starting this week.
So there you go.
There you go.
I do think that. Well, this conversation is secondary to what we're talking about because he is obviously better than most tight ends in the run game. I do think he was probably better at it earlier in his career.
Okay.
But the important thing is like how multiple the Eagles can be. And we're going to talk about some predictability stuff today, like how multiple Dallas Goedert's presence makes them on offense, being able to run out of 11 personnel and having him as a presence in the run game, being able to throw out of heavy packages because he is a receiving threat in addition to the wideouts. If you are in 12 or 13 personnel, they really lose that. And they don't, especially like, even if you think about like Dallas Goedert in like a max protect situation against this Chiefs defense, Steve Spagnuolo obviously likes to send a lot of pressure looks, like, or even as an outlet. You know, there are a lot of ways that not having him and the dynamic nature, like the variety of things he can offer in offense, it really does kind of, I feel like if you were to like truth serum Kevin Patullo, there are probably a surprisingly fewer number of players that he would not want to lose before he'd say Dallas Goedert. Like, you know, you'd probably say, obviously you'd say Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Lane Johnson.
Cam Jurgens, Jordan Mailata. You don't think DeVonta Smith
from like
would be
an
ahead of him?
From an offensive coordinator's perspective, like the amount of things that he opens up for you, you could start to make arguments, I think, after that. I'm not saying like talent-wise or like importance to the offense. I'm talking about specifically like your plan, how you want to get, how you want to basically catch teams off guard, avoid predictability. He is really important to that.
Yeah, it's weird, like, that they were very predictable in this last game with Dallas Goedert. I'm curious how it's going to change without him. I also don't fully understand, like, if you are very likely to run it from a condensed set and you're lining two tight ends up on, to one side of the tackle, why is Calcaterra the one on the inside? Who's blocking the edge rusher?
Yeah, right.
Dallas Goedert is being asked to block like a safety or somebody, right. And then you've got like a big defensive end, like just destroying Calcaterra within the first second of the snap. And I've just never really understood that. Statistically, the sixth offensive lineman thing, they had 32 snaps of it last year in total. 7 of them were in the Week 18 game with the backups.
Okay,
so 25 times in
how
20 games
were,
or whatever.
Were just like pure.
They were like end of game type situations a lot of times. The game high was 8 against the Ravens. The year before they only did it 6 times all year. So it's not something that's been in like the like in the playbook really under Sirianni really since he's been here. So it's not something that they've loved to do. Doug liked to do it a lot more before.
All right. Good stuff on the big takeaway presented by our friends at Xfinity. All right. Taking a step back from Dallas Goedert, obviously, Professor, you spent a lot of time on the opening game for the Eagles.
Yeah. And
one thing that you spent a lot of time talking about last season was the percentage of non-targets in the Eagles offense. Jalen Hurts led the league in those last year. There were a lot again this week, except they were mostly positive for the Eagles.
Yeah, I mean, and this is why just looking at the numbers, especially a number like this, is not you can't just. It's a nice way to describe the game. The Eagles
Sure.
dropped back 33 times. 39% of them resulted in a non-target. That sounds bad, right? And it's like I can look at Jalen Hurts' career and I can tell you that that was a career high for him. Like in all of his starts in his career, that was the highest that's
is
ever
interesting.
been. But when you look at the EPA per non-target, which is across the NFL, typically negative, right? Because non-targets are usually sacks, throwaways, like those are negative EPA plays. The only way you can have a positive play is with a positive scramble. Jalen Hurts is
Well, you could have a fumble that you then pick up and run with.
okay. Fair. That's true.
Just saying.
That's true. They should put that in the playbook as a different way to benefit from this.
Fumble risky, is a non-target.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
We got to be accurate on the show. This is the show of record.
like you said, last year Jalen Hurts led the league in this metric, 24%. His career average is 20%. This was 39% career high. However, plus 0.25 EPA per non-target, that's crazy. I mean, if you could get that number on any play, that would be really good. Compare that to the divisional game against the Rams last year, which was also one of his highest in his career. That was like negative 1.2 EPA per play because those were all sacks, right? So there's a big difference, obviously, between a sack and a throwaway and a scramble. There were also a lot of checkdowns in this game. Like if you add the checkdowns to these, like the number of plays where Jalen Hurts like threw the ball to his first read was like 3 or 4 in the whole game. And yet you're looking at a very efficient offense. Jalen Hurts was absolutely awesome. I agree with everybody who's been saying that. He had the highest success rate of any quarterback in the NFL in week 1 and the highest completion percentage over expectation, which he always leads the league in anyway. This is just a one-game sample.
But without really
he was like
throws, yeah.
Exactly. And this time he wasn't like, we've looked at that graph every year where he's always to the upper left. Like he's trying hard throws, but he's completing them. This time he was in the upper right. He was trying easy throws, but he was completing them still above expectation. And it was just like to lead the league in success rate and completion percentage over expectation in a situation when like the play calling is not getting your main guys open and you're not really throwing the ball at all to your top 2 receivers is really impressive. And obviously the scrambles are a big part of that. And the willingness to check down quickly, understanding, okay, they're in base coverage. Both of the linebackers are fanning out to take away those in-breaking routes from the outside receivers. The offensive coordinator isn't calling any plays where the receivers run crossers for some reason. Like they're just staying on one side and running little in-breakers and Dallas is all over it. The whole game, okay, let me check it down to the running back. Let me check it down to Dallas Goedert.
Over the middle of the field, though.
Middle of the field, which he's always been like 32nd in the league at throwing there. And he threw it there a lot on Thursday night.
So let me ask you this, Deniz, because we heard from Kevin Patullo earlier in the week, and he talked about the fact that the mini bye at the very beginning of the season opened up a chance for them to do some self-scouting off of the one game. So if I could give you one thing that they could have addressed and they will have ready for week 2 and really even zooming out like the for this season, one thing that they could have corrected or added to the plan, what would you want most?
I would want them to be less predictable if they're going to run or pass based on both personnel grouping and formation. You have this awesome offensive line. You have this awesome running back. You have these awesome wide receivers. I mean, I don't think running back's that important, but the running back is awesome. And when you talk about like the ability that other offensive coordinators show and like, okay, we're gonna get them thinking that we're gonna run it and then we're gonna pass it. Spags in his presser this week was asked about, was part of the reason you guys weren't getting any pass rush because you thought that they were gonna run it and then they passed it. Talking about the Chargers, the game in Brazil last week. And Spags was like, you definitely hit on something there. And he basically admitted, like, that's exactly what it was.
Okay.
I watched that film last night or this morning or whatever. Chargers are killing the Chiefs with under center play action, pistol play action, shotgun play action, early down play action, just like catching the Chiefs off guard. The Eagles could totally do that. And we've talked over the course of the last 2-3 years now, and it's ridiculous to criticize the team that like might have been the best team of the last 25 years and won the Super Bowl last year. But schematically, it's like, why aren't you taking more advantage of this? And we look at the game against Dallas. The first play of the season is a pistol toss action pass to Dallas Goedert, right? And it's like, oh, great. Like they lined up in pistol, which they almost always run out of. And then they did play action out of it, and they got a big play.
New Eagles offense.
And then they ran 11 more plays of pistol during the game. All 11 were runs.
Yeah.
And when you look at the way that those runs go, right, they start out successful. 7 of them were zone runs. The first 4 of those were successful. The last 3 weren't. 4 of them were counter runs. The first one was successful. The last 3 weren't. And you look on film, and it's like, this isn't just a coincidence. It's like they can tell you're going to run counter out of this look. And you can see the defensive end is like catching that pull block like further in the backfield every time. You can see the linebacker like knows that the tight end is about to like, lead block right into him, and he just evades him. And those are turning into TFLs. And they were turning into TFLs by the fourth quarter, and that's why the Eagles finished the game with 8 straight unsuccessful runs. Meanwhile, A.J. Brown is out there against Kyer Elam on an island. Like maybe one of those 8 could be a play action pass to him, right? And it's just like when you see other teams have successful play action, it's just kind of annoying to see the Eagles not use it. So I would change that, and then also
I liked your description of that, where they
pistol,
do it early, and then
it's like new season, new me. It's like we've all done this before. It's January, you get to the gym for about a week, you're feeling good, and then the rest of the year you use that gym membership almost 0 times.
But also you're like, well, what? I went to the gym in January. Like,
exactly.
What's the problem? Like,
yeah,
exactly. And it's like the personnel thing too. It's like, there's been a lot of criticism of like how much 12 and 13 they're using and how they're running out of it every time. 75% pass from, this is early downs only, okay? 75% pass from 11, only 32% pass from 12 and 13. And then you look, it's like 9 passes from 12 and 13. 3 of those are the first 3 plays of the second half. So it's like they're coming out, second half, it's like, okay, we have to like set this precedent that we're going to pass it out of 12. And so the first 3 plays out of 12 are passes, but then like 7 or, like 8 of the next 9 or whatever are all runs. And it's just like, why don't you just kind of sprinkle that stuff in?
Right.
And Fran always talks about how like he'd like to know who's in charge of the opening script, who's in charge of the 2-minute drill, who's in charge of third downs and all that. And it seems like it's always, we've talked about like how it's like the offensive playbook, like the different chapters were written by different people.
Yeah.
And then no one ever edited it all together or reordered it. And I wish that they would just kind of reorder it so that it wasn't as predictable.
I don't know if I believe this, but the bull case is it's week 1. They're just, some of this stuff they're putting on tape, and maybe they think they're going to win this game anyway. I don't like, that's the part that I don't think I believe, that if they had answers that they could get to, that they would have gotten to them in this close game. But I think they do deserve a little bit of the benefit of the doubt of, okay, now they've seen it. Now that we've put this on tape, what can we do to build off of that?
I agree, and we've seen them use mini buys and bye weeks in the past to improve. Obviously last year is the most famous example of that. The bye week, after the bye week, the team was much better. I think that we will see a little bit of that. Obviously, like they can see these numbers as well. There will probably be a little bit more variety. But one thing to say about the non-targets as well, and I should have mentioned this earlier, Dallas was the only team in the NFL that didn't play a single snap of man coverage. And it's kind of crazy. Like for those of you who don't know, like in general, teams are 65 to 70% zone coverage in the NFL. So man coverage isn't that common anyway. But when you look at an entire game where a team didn't play man coverage at all, I mean, that's like, that's pretty rare. I mean, Eberflus has been in heavy zone his whole career, but not to this degree. And we talked about how Jalen Hurts is better against man. A.J. Brown is the best wide receiver in the world, like against man, right? And so other teams are probably going to do this as well. Looking back at the Super Bowl, which didn't go well for Spags, obviously, but it was 26 zone, 6 man in that one. He did blitz. Eagles had some trouble with the blitz in this game as well. Landon Dickerson isn't healthy, right? Like you can really tell, and you could tell in the Super Bowl too. Like I think that's actually an under-discussed thing, that the run game wasn't good against the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. We talked about how they brought down Justin Reed at late and that kind of thing. But a lot of times it was just Landon Dickerson was getting beat by the guy in front of him because he was not healthy in the Super Bowl either. And so I'm curious about how that's going to go this time, because again, he's not healthy, right?
Yeah, I mean, he was a full participant in practice yesterday, and it seems like he's on track to play. He didn't have the knee sleeve on at practice today, I noticed. I don't know. I guess that is maybe a slightly positive development, or maybe it's just because it's a lighter day. But I think this is going to be the cycle with him, at least early in the season, where he's just
I wish he would just take a couple weeks.
Just not his thing, right?
I know it's not his thing.
Yeah.
And I know that that's not how he's wired, and it's why he's as good as he is. But I'd rather he be healthy.
Brett Toth looked fine. I mean, it was hard to tell, like 11 snaps, but yeah.
What Well, I'm going to ask you this, and then you can think about it as we head to break. But against the zone, what are the things that you would like to have seen them do in order to spring A.J. Brown? We'll get to that after these words from our sponsors. I've told you about this doofus friend of mine who invites me over to watch some ball last weekend, and I get there, and it's a terrible setup. The Wi-Fi is terrible. It's lagging. It's buffering. He's switching between apps in order to find the game. Said he was a big fan. I thought he was. And he invites me over. It's like I was fan-fished. It's the ultimate sports destination, Xfinity is. You can find the best games and all that you need for your favorite teams all in one place. And the way that you watch is next level. You get the perfect fan flex. All the action right in your living room, plus Xfinity's best picture and sound with enhanced 4K. So clear, it feels like you're in the stadium. You can even get up to 4 games at once, because why not? On top of all that, real-time notifications and live stats right on your TV. It's the best seat in the house every time. Next game day, make sure that big fan isn't a big fail. Learn more at Xfinity.com. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions apply. Multiview requires Xfinity 4K capable TV box.
Next, we have to tell you about the good people at Ford and their all-new Explorer. That's right, it's America's all-time best-selling SUV, a legacy of family trust and performance with 3-row seating for up to 7 passengers. It comes with your choice of 3 different powertrain options and is available with rear-wheel drive or intelligent 4-wheel drive. The 3-liter EcoBoost V6 has up to 400 horsepower if you're looking for something sporty, or you could go with a hybrid model with up to 500 miles of driving range if you're after something fuel efficient. It also comes with Ford's terrain management system, perfect whether you're driving home in the snow, trekking across the sand, or even towing a trailer. You'll also be getting an advanced suite of driver assist features with Ford Copilot 360 and a large digital instrument cluster for that high-tech feel. Available with captain's chairs and plenty of storage space with the seats folded down, the new Explorer is truly a do-it-all SUV built for families but ready for adventure.
All week long, I've been looking forward to tonight. You know why? We'll be doing some grilling. We got a nice package from Omaha Steaks. I'm gonna make some burgers for the family. Very much looking forward to it because, with Omaha Steaks, you are getting high quality product, restaurant quality product that you can make in your own home with heartland quality food is what we're saying about Omaha Steaks, delivered right to your door. Omaha Steaks offers unrivaled quality and variety, and every bite is backed by their 100% guarantee. Right now is the perfect time as fall kicks up to stock up with the exceptional handcrafted flavor and convenience of Omaha Steaks. Get fired up for fall grilling with Omaha Steaks. Visit omahasteaks.com for 50% off site-wide during their Red Hot Sale event. 50% off! And for an extra $35 off, use promo code EAGLES at checkout. That's 50% off at omahasteaks.com and an extra $35 off with promo code EAGLES at checkout. See site for details. All right, Dr. Selman, you're fixing the passing game against zone. It can't be as simple as you throw zone at us. We can't get the ball to A.J. Brown. How do we get him the ball?
Yeah, I got the ball to A.J. Brown out of zone in the Super Bowl, right? I mean, it was a cover 3 sky call on AJ's touchdown where he runs a crosser. The tight ends are running off the safeties on that side. You see the back shoulder catch against McDuffie on the sideline. That was a cover 3 sky call by Spags where essentially you're leaving that corner one-on-one against A.J. Brown, and sometimes it's just a matter of giving him a chance. Like that back shoulder catch was awesome. The Jahan Dotson catch against Watson in the Super Bowl was also against zone. I mean, that it looks like man because it's a blitz and they're playing cover 3 and you end up with that on an island. But sometimes it's just a matter of taking those shots. But my short answer is play action. Look at the dagger. It's a cover 4 call. And you've got DeVonta Smith one-on-one against Watson in the post. And the reason he's one-on-one is because Justin Reed, who's the safety on that side, is coming down to catch Dallas Goedert's sail route. And the reason that he's coming down is because all 3 linebackers, they're in base, are biting on a play action. It was out of pistol, 12 personnel, play action with Mekhi Becton pulling to make it look like a gap scheme run. All 3 linebackers are sprinting towards the line of scrimmage. And Justin Reed's coming down, panicked about Dallas Goedert. Meanwhile, DeVonta Smith beats Watson, and there's no safety there. perfect example of how play action can distort a zone coverage, right? Like, and I think like this isn't me like reinventing football. This is like every other offense in the league seems to do this routinely, and for whatever reason, the Eagles don't do it a lot. But that was the Eagles in the Super Bowl doing it.
Feels like they need to save their special plays, and like there's
saving it for the Super Bowl.
Diminishing value of returns on the play action when we know that that's not the case.
Nick says you got to be playing your best football at the end, so this is one way to do it.
What were you gonna say?
I just listening to Deniz describe like the play action on the dagger. I like one of my weird like football like. Just like, I don't know the right word to use, but just something that like, I just love it when it happens and it's like very random, is like a play action pass where you pull a guard. Cause it is like, it really does like put linebackers in conflict. Like again, my very rudimentary understanding of like reading keys and, you know, not ball watching. I think people think that like linebackers watch the ball, but they are usually reading the guard.
Yeah.
Having that play action pass where the guard pulls, it's like one of my simple pleasures in football.
What about the pull by Landon Dickerson to the right on a toss to the left? On the fourth play of the game on Thursday. I mean, like everybody's sprinting to Landon Dickerson's side. That's a gain of 16 on a toss play that I have never seen them run before. I've never seen them pull a guard one way and toss it the other way. Again, fourth play of the game, and then you never see anything like that.
Yeah, screen grab that because it is like so staggering to see like Landon Dickerson pulling away from the action.
It got Mailata and Jurgens into that alley like free because everyone was running away from the play.
That's like the play design that you see and you're like, oh, they're onto something here.
Right. They found
and then
something.
It just peters out, which is disappointing. And you gave the bull argument earlier, and I'm gonna give the bear argument.
Okay.
I'm not fully like jumping into this argument, but I do think that there was a lack of like adaptation through the game. And it kind of reminds me of like when we would talk to Shane Steichen about, you know, what makes a good play caller and how do you get a feel for those types of things. And I listened, it was Kevin Patullo's first time calling a game. So I think there is a reasonable expectation that he will grow in that area.
Sure.
But like, you know, when you hear Deniz talk about like, well, why weren't there crossing routes for AJ Brown? Why weren't there even just simplified manufacturer touches for him? I think that there's like, I would like to see as the season unfolds, I'd like to see Kevin Patullo get to those things more efficiently and effectively throughout the game.
I think it's a fair reminder to say this was his first game as a play caller. You would expect that there would be, some growth as the season goes on.
It's not really a bear argument here. It's more just like an observation about like the feel for the game was lacking at times. Yeah.
I was going to say, you know what, one of my very basic football things that I like. I meant to say this during training camp because every now and then it hit me. And this is very basic, but it's just when the defensive line is changing their gaps, but they all move in exact concert
to try and get the offensive line,
and they're all moving. Like, oh, I love that.
See, like now that's not exactly the right example, but like there are certain things like the tackle trap or like a tackle trap or like the play action pass where you pull a guard where that gets the iPad out. You're writing it out. You're explaining it to your wife. And she's just like, I don't care about this at all.
Chiefs love to do that. My wife doesn't care either, by the way. Yeah. When I'm watching the film, I'm like, can I show you one play? And she's like, no. The Chiefs do a lot of that late shifting the D line. Lane Johnson's talked about that before, and they did that a lot in the Super Bowl. One of the reasons
Sirianni would want to do that. Like all of the like practicing trying to draw people offside on offense, you'd think that he'd want some defensive line shifts.
There was a little more of it this last game. We'll get to it when we get to the defense.
Okay, what do we need to know about the Chiefs' defense?
They're mostly the same as last year. Watching them last night, very few changes. I mean, they lost Justin Reed, right? So they lost their best safety. They've got Jaden Hicks, who was the third safety last year, coming in. So they didn't really replace Reed with anybody. Hicks plays along with Brian Cook. And then Christian Fulton, who they got in free agency, is a guy that will come in. He came in and played a bunch in the second half. He played exclusively at right corner. With Watson and McDuffie, they often tried to match up with receivers. And we saw McDuffie match up with A.J. Brown a lot in the Super Bowl. A.J. talked in the locker room about how there was a guy he was expecting to go against, and he's been watching him a lot. I'm guessing he's talking about McDuffie, because he was the main guy he was against in the Super Bowl. When Fulton came in, Spags said that Fulton isn't familiar with the defense yet. Like, he missed a lot of time. And so they're using him in a way that makes the defense a little more predictable. McDuffie kicks inside then. And Chamari Connor, who's really a safety, who's been playing nickel, will play safety. In terms of the coverages and the blitzes and all that, I mean, Spags just does a little of everything, and that's one of the things that's kind of cool about watching his defenses. In the Super Bowl, they ran 10 different coverages on the first 10 plays, which is hard to do. But it was a lot of, starting in too high and then shifting into other stuff.
They didn't then run the exact same coverage on every play the rest of the game.
They did not. They continued to vary it up, and obviously did not go well for them against the pass at all, and they weren't able to stop Jalen scrambles.
Right.
All of his scrambling first downs in the Super Bowl were against zone. Obviously, all of his scrambles in this last game were also against zone because every play was zone. But he's shown a really good ability to just take off when that read isn't there. And I'm wondering if the fact that they got beat by his scrambling so much in the Super Bowl is going to change the way they play. I mean, they did try to spy a few times, and it didn't work in the Super Bowl. So I'm curious what they'll do there. But the thing, the headline about the Chiefs roster, both offense and defense, I didn't think they were that good a team last year. I came on here. I know they were 15-1 before they rested their starters, but I came on, I was sitting right here previewing the Super Bowl the week before, we went down there, and I was just like this team isn't that good. I mean, the numbers show they're not that good. The film shows they're not that good. And I was expecting them to really try to improve the roster more. And it's surprising to look at both the offense and the defense and see how few changes there are.
Yeah.
I mean, the only new starter they have on defense is Jerry Tillery, which is ridiculous. And they just haven't, they didn't really draft high on defense either. And so it's just kind of surprising that really the only thing they've done is they moved a guy who was a rookie who couldn't play left tackle last year. They moved him into the lineup, and then they drafted a left tackle. That's basically all they did. And I guess they're just hoping that getting Rashee Rice back would fix the offense, but obviously he's out. So, I don't know. I mean, I'm not expecting it to be 34-0 again, but I don't see any reason to think that the Chiefs are just going to suddenly be good. And they didn't look good last week.
To the other side of the ball, I want to settle on AJ for a second here, EJ, because hopefully you guys are all diehards and you can become a diehard by going to allphly.com. I think we still have that good deal going. You had you can read your notes from today, and you had your little one-on-one special time with AJ Brown about what this week has been like. What did you learn?
Yeah, so I want to paint the picture for the listeners. I was in a scrum listening to Saquon Barkley talk about AJ Brown, and I decided because Saquon was talking about how AJ has handled, how he's responded to the lack of workload, the low usage in the game. Obviously, we've talked a lot about the dynamic of a wide receiver and the way that AJ has struggled with that dynamic, wanting to dominate games, wanting to put his imprint on games, wanting to prove he's the best receiver in the NFL, but also wanting the team to succeed and realizing that those two pursuits are not always aligned perfectly, where one might be at the odds of the other. So again, Saquon is talking about how AJ has been handling the lack of involvement really well, kind of setting an example for everybody, including Saquon. He said, now this forces me, if I don't have a good game, to, respond the right way. So I decided, I'm going to go ask AJ about this.
Yeah, get out of that scrum.
Yeah,
forget about the scrum.
I'm going to go ask AJ, how has it been this week? Because it stands in stark contrast, thinking back to years in the past. There was obviously the time in 2022 where he didn't talk to the media for I think it was a few days, maybe a week, where he was not willing to address it because he kind of just wanted to go into a silent mode and just kind of hide from it. And then the next year, obviously there was the what needs to change or what needs to improve with the offense passing. I think he has steadily learned more and more that he makes waves in the Eagles locker room with the way he responds to these things, and he is trying to figure out the best way to navigate it. So I asked him if he feels like he handles it better, and he kind of laughed and shook his head. And then I was like, well, just the way that you present it, the way you project how you're feeling. And he says, I am handling it better, but I don't like it. There is nothing, he said, but there ain't nothing I can do about it. And especially when we're winning, you don't want to have a sour attitude. So I've changed my mindset. Whenever I get the ball, change the game, make an impact like you want to. So I put it on myself, which I think is a pretty meaningful shift in perspective from where he was a few years ago. And I find it interesting. Again, you can tell that this is something that bubbles over for him. But he knows that the way that he presents it in front of everyone will have an impact on the team.
It's very thoughtful.
The anti-diva wide receiver. We've talked about it before. He is he has all of the same instincts that most top wide receivers have. He carries them and handles them differently than any player I've seen before.
Yeah, and he's very intentional about that and thoughtful about that. Yeah, I think it's very hard. I really would. I think I wouldn't handle it that well.
I'll watch those. I'll watch the videos of the scrums in the locker room on sped up speed sometime just to save time. AJ Brown comes on, I always slow it down to one to normal speed. Like I want to focus on. No, it's not because of that.
Yeah.
It's because I want to kind of see like how much he's thinking about it, how thoughtful he is, and he always gives such good answers.
Pauses with AJ. Like, I asked him the question, and it's like 4 or 5 seconds of him because he's careful. That is the best way to describe it. Is he is careful with his words. I also asked him like, because one of the things I find so interesting about this year's Eagles team is it is like really that they do kind of have like the Avengers in their skill position guys, right? Like they've got AJ, they've got DeVonta, they've got Saquon. Obviously, they had Dallas Goedert, Jalen Hurts, like. And the star power is what makes them great. You know, the scheme is secondary to the fact that they have
for sure
these, to use a soccer expression, these galacticos, you know, these planet level players with all this gravity. And to me, like the only way it works is if AJ isn't furious this week. It only works if they are
everybody's not going to get it every week.
So I asked AJ about like, how do you guys make this work? And I know like they talk about this all the time, but I wanted to like try and really get into like, how do you navigate a week like this so that everyone else can succeed? And he said, we all really care about each other and we want to see each other succeed, but we are like hungry dogs. We are trying to get it first. It's a healthy thing, a healthy dynamic, but we also want to see each other succeed. So to me, it really does come down to like some of the stuff that Nick Sirianni, some of that like nebulous stuff. It does seem like it has an impact because again, like I think 2 years ago, AJ handles this week differently.
Yeah. Now there's also 2 years ago, he doesn't have Saquon, right? And so there's a little bit less reason for him not to get it every time.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's no doubt about it. There's growth. And that's part of the difficulty of having won it all. Everybody is feeling a little bit more like I need to get mine. And so, I mean, it's going to be a storyline all season long.
Yeah. I would expect them to have a heavy workload, though. I feel like they're going to overcorrect.
I am still holding on to, like, I don't think he looked 100%.
I was going to ask you that. Do you think he's healthy? Because, like, there are some of those plays where...
I agree with you guys. I do think, like, his contributions in the run game are sort of separate to this. I think that there is a chance.
It's very funny that he said he didn't like Nick praising him for blocking.
Yeah, that was interesting.
He said, "I don't like participation trophies."
Yeah, well,
I mean, like it's just like
he said basically
he's not going to be happy.
He considers that a participation trophy.
JJ McCarthy being NFC Offensive Player of the Week.
Well, he said to me that he expects he can bring more than that. You know, it's not something that he doesn't want to be praised for doing the bare minimum.
Right. You don't need. Yeah, it's like. Yeah, you don't need to like babysit me in front of the team and being like, hey, great job blocking AJ, when like we know that like I'm just doing my job there. That's not what I'm here for.
Yeah, he obviously knows that he's setting an example, but it's also like if you're as talented as him, like being praised for your effort is like, okay, like of course I was gonna do that anyway, you know? So,
It's more like it's like you're showing this play, okay, great job blocking AJ, we move on. It's not like, hey, everybody listen up. Like, what a job by AJ.
I understand both sides of it. Yeah. You know, I understand why Nick wants to shout out, like, this is one of your best players, and he is, you know, putting the team first. But yeah, I think AJ is like, that's what I'm supposed to do. You know?
I think it's worth separating like how okay AJ and DeVonta are with the team being very run heavy. And by the way, they were very run heavy again. 31st in the NFL in neutral pass rate in week 1, just like they were last year. But like they love Saquon, right? They love the run game. They're like totally okay with like it being a run offense. Not totally, but like they're willing to publicly say they're okay with that.
And
I don't think
those sideline videos of DeVonta. Oh, DeVonta's always like a run the ball guy. It's like very funny.
Yeah. No, totally. Interestingly, though, DeVonta had an awesome block on the Saquon touchdown. By the way, dug out the safety. It was great. But AJ had a nice block on that one too. That's probably what he's getting credit for. Yeah. But when AJ was asked about what in the pass game can change to get him more open, he paused for 5 seconds. And then he said, "That's a trap question. I'm not going to answer it." Yeah. And it's because like what's going on in his head there is like, there's a lot of things they can do to like try to get me more open than this. He really was staying on one side of the field, lining up on the outside, and oftentimes running some sort of in-breaking route where he was staying on that side of the field, and it wasn't really part of a concept. And I wish like they would just do more to get him into some of those concepts that get him those easy touches. But I also am not sure he's healthy because they did run the crash concept that they run all the time, where he runs an in-breaker and Goedert runs the from the corner out from inside him, and he just wasn't cutting and running as hard on that on film as he normally does. And so it's like, does he know the ball's going the other way, or is he not healthy?
Yeah,
so.
I mean, there's every chance that the hamstring is still lingering there. He does float through games sometimes though, especially when he's not involved. So.
I do think you're right though that the recipe for it becoming an issue is not the run-pass balance. It is when we are passing, we're not making the most of it.
Right. Famously, the problem is passing, right? Like that's what he said after the Carolina game. Right. So, yeah.
All right, time to take our second break. On the other side, we flip sides of the ball and talk about Vic Fangio and what he can do against Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs offense. Bet365 has, listen to this, 90 million users worldwide, and they live stream over 780,000 events each year with early payout offers across the NBA and NHL. Bet365 pioneered live in-game betting, and today they offer the widest range of games and markets available for live in-game betting across 78 sports. They've got the single game parlay SGP Sundays, where it's never ordinary at Bet365, and you can place qualifying parlay bets totaling $20 or more on Sunday's NFL games. And when you do that, you get up to $25 in bonus bets. Terms and conditions apply. Download the app and use code PHLY when you sign up, whatever the moment. It's never ordinary at Bet365. Breaking news from Bet365. New customers now get $300 in bonus bets when you bet $5. Win or lose. Sign up. Use the code PHLY365. Deposit $10 and place a bet for $5 to get $300 in bonus bets. If your bet wins or loses, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, player props, futures, and more. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 21 and older and physically located in Pennsylvania. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Next, I'm going to tell you about Game Time. Now that football season is finally upon us, we all know the rush to get last-minute tickets to Eagles games is about to be in full force. We all know the team is going to be getting everyone's best shot as the defending champs on the field, and you, the loyal fans, looking for affordable seats home or on the road, could as well when it comes to queues, login screens, and price jumps at checkout, fighting for the perfect seats. That's where Game Time comes in. The Game Time app gives you the advantage back to the fans. It's the hack for unlocking amazing tickets and experiences in a few taps. It's incredibly easy to use, and the Game Time guarantee means you can trust you'll get 100% authentic tickets on time and at the best price. Plus, fees are always included, so what you see is what you pay. When my family members ask me which Eagles games they should circle this year, I make sure to pull up the Game Time app because of how easy it is to pick out great seats at a great price. We're talking in-division games for less than $130. Take the guesswork out of buying NFL tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use PHLY for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code PHLY for $20 off. Tap, ticket, go. Download the Game Time app today.
If you are craving the perfect snack that satisfies your hunger and provides the right amount of protein to fulfill your body's daily needs, boy, have we got the solution for you. It's Righteous Felon Beef Jerky and Meat Sticks. Righteous Felon traces its roots back to the hallways of Downingtown Middle School and was officially launched by lifelong friends in their apartment kitchen after college. The Exton, PA-based company has been making all-natural, premium quality, better-for-you meat snacks for over a decade and has evolved into the region's preeminent jerky brand. We've been loving the Righteous Felon we have here in the office. I got some in the car. Comes in like just a savior when you get that hunger panic, and it's delicious. You can tell that it's high quality. My favorite is the Soul Survivor. Please check that out. That's my recommendation. Righteous Felon. If you're a jerky man, a jerky woman, a jerky person, Righteous Felon is the jerky for you. If you're the kind of person who wants a deal and snacks delivered to your doorstep, you can order online at righteousfelon.com using discount code PHLY20 for 20% off. They have all kinds of cool variety packs and bundles on the site, so it's also the perfect gift for that special meat snack lover in your life. Again, that's discount code PHLY20 for 20% off your order on righteousfelon.com.
We got some got some news here.
Yeah,
We do.
EJ and I both have our.
Oh.
Yeah, we're on the same page.
EJ, you're the insider. You get the nod.
Yeah, very inside information I got here. The Chiefs' injury report is out for the game. Jalen Royals is out, and Xavier Worthy, doubtful with a shoulder injury. He was a limited participant in practice. Andy Reid said he has a slim chance to play.
There are video clips of him in practice today with less padding on his arm than yesterday. I don't want to take down that road again, but
he was a little bit spent. He didn't have the energy to come back in.
I'm not gonna speculate, but yeah, I think we all
Yankees
remember
report with the old Anthony Harris.
hands and growing.
Yeah.
Incredible. What did he do to the guy who writes the injury report? So
I don't know, but I know what he did to himself.
Oh man. We all remember Xavier Worthy's Jerry Rice-esque performance in the Super Bowl last year. Huge clutch
best
fourth
player in the
down
game,
touchdowns. Yeah, burning Tristan McCullum and Sidney Brown down the field. But without him, and Jalen Royals missed the first game as well. Their top three receivers are Hollywood Brown, Juju Smith-Schuster, and Tyquan Thornton. Tyquan Thornton's fast. They tried to throw deep to him last week, but this is a game where, and we're switching to the side of the ball anyway now, right? Like,
Yes.
I would guess that Fangio has the corners just play sides, like rather than having Quignon follow a guy around. I honestly thought, just watching live, it's harder to see on the film, but like when you're at the stadium and you're seeing them like line up,
Right.
I think there's like a disorienting element.
I think so.
To not knowing before the play, like which side of the field you're going to be on. Last year, Quignon Mitchell knew he was going to be on the right side. The only thing he really had to adjust to is, am I on the boundary or the field side, right? Because like that would obviously change depending on where the ball is, and that would change which safety is behind him, and that would change like where he is in the coverage depending on the rotations. When you don't know which side you're going to be on, you don't like know which side you're going to be on. You don't know if it's boundary or field. You don't know which safety is behind you. Like you're trying to figure out all these things at the same time.
Sure.
And it's one
thing. Same goes for the safeties.
And the same thing goes for the other corner. Like
Right.
it's one thing to say like, well, Quignon Mitchell is like second year now. He's going to be an all-pro. Like he can handle it. Well, what about Adoree Jackson, who you signed, like basically off the street and don't really trust? You're asking him to also not know which side he's going to be on. And, he got beat in a variety of different ways, which we can get into. Like,
if you just think about it, you're lining up. You've got 20 seconds till the ball is snapped. You're thinking about these are my responsibilities, and if it keeps flip flopping, you're like, as the ball is getting snapped, you're like, oh wait, what do I have here? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and they don't really like declare where they're going to go out of the huddle until like maybe 5 seconds before the snap, right?
Yeah.
And so you really don't have time to like process like, okay, this is the call, this is the side I'm on, like this is the safety that's behind me. He's rotating, he's not rotating. And so I thought that was like something that when you don't have an obvious number one receiver is probably something Vic doesn't want to do. And historically hasn't done.
Vic Fangio did mention like that Adoree Jackson needs to be a master technician, and it's a lot harder to do that if you were playing on both sides of the field. Like the technique flips so often. So,
and if you're only trying to get degrees,
C's get degrees.
He's just trying to get a bachelor's.
I think we should make that a shirt. I think we should
C's get degrees.
Make that a PHLY shirt.
Just like a picture of Adoree Jackson.
Yeah, why not? Okay. First week, not a very good performance.
No.
In the first half, you got numbers to back
up.
Up.
Not stopping the run. 62% rush success by Dallas. That was worse than any game in the 21 games the Eagles allowed last year. 82% series conversion rate. That's what did you want to call that? The chains rate? Like we need to come up with a new name.
I know.
It's the percentage of times that a team gets a first down on a set of downs, right? So 82%. Only the Tampa Bay game, which was a disaster last year, was worse last year. 0.98 EPA per drive. Only Tampa Bay and Atlanta, which were both losses last year, were worse than that. And yet somehow managed to pitch a shutout in the second half. It was like night and day. Before the delay and after the delay, right? Starting with the play just before the delay with the fumble. Dallas' success rate went from 57% before the delay to 22% after the delay. They only ran 4 successful plays out of 18 after.
They had 3
aided
drops,
by the drops, for sure. Yeah, for sure, aided by the drops. But when you look at like the thing we were most worried about coming into the game, and I know you guys have talked a lot about this already this week, so I'll try to keep it brief, but like Adoree Jackson got beat so many different ways. Like he got beat on a double move by Lamb on a post corner. That was a cover 3 blitz call where he kind of ends up isolated with Lamb and he's got his eyes in the wrong place. He said in the locker room, he said bad eyes on a couple of plays. My eyes weren't in the right place. My technique wasn't there. I think that's like an individual technique thing, right? On that play. Then you look at 4 plays later, same on the next drive, 18-yard over route, quarters coverage this time, and Adoree Jackson is like actively trying to pass CD Lamb off to somebody inside, but both safeties have their eyes on the post route from Pickens from the other side. Turpin ran a wheel to occupy Quinion on that, and I'm thinking like route concept, like interesting, like creative route concept to get their best player open. That's exactly the kind of play you watch, and you're like, that was good offensive design. It's tough to cover, but we were so spoiled last year watching the Eagles cover those plays, passing off routes like they had telepathy. But then you bring in 2 new guys in Adoree Jackson and Makuba, and they're exactly the guys involved in that. Like Makuba's the guy he's really trying to pass Lamb off to there, but Makuba's looking at the route from the other side. So that's like a communication in zone match issue, right? And then 3 plays later, he gets beat. This time it's man coverage, but again it's a communication thing. This is the 26-yard over route by Lamb, and on this one, Tolbert motioned wide of Lamb just before the snap. Use of motion is another thing we criticize the Eagles for not using enough. Tolbert motions outside, and Adoree Jackson seems to think that they're going to banjo that. He seems to think that...
What does banjo mean?
Banjo means that the inside corner, so in this case it's Cooper DeJean, who's in the nickel, is going to take Lamb, and he's going to get Tolbert. Now that Tolbert is the number 1 receiver to the sideline, he thinks he's now responsible for Tolbert. He takes 1 step to the outside, and that's all it takes, because he's already playing outside leverage against Lamb. As soon as he takes that 1 step, Cooper DeJean is frantically telling him, no, you still have Lamb. And he's like stuck to Tolbert. And that's one where last year with Slay and with Quinion Mitchell, that didn't happen. Like guys weren't taking those wrong steps at the beginning of the play. And so that 1 step's enough to give him no chance to cover Lamb, because Lamb ends up running an over route on that one. So going to the inside. And so that's 3 completely different ways that he got beat. And some of it is like, okay, the man, like bad technique, C's get degrees. Like if that's a standard for himself, like that's going to be a problem.
Well, also,
and
like,
part of it's just the communication.
You're in the league too.
I was going to say, like if
you're not a master technician,
Vic said like he's no one's wanted to keep him in his career, right?
The mental error on the third one that you just broke down, Deniz, and also excellent breakdown for the record. That is the type of thing that you have Adoree Jackson out there for. Like you have the veteran presence out there so that he doesn't have those mental errors. If you're gonna bake in like, okay, like he's not going to be fully immersed in the scheme, he's not going to have
give me the young guy.
all of the answers, and then put your Corey and Bennett out there. The ceiling is at least higher. Like, you know, if he gets beat on like the double move where he's got outside leverage, like I can live with that with Adoree Jackson. Like that is something that's what we talk about, the floor and the ceiling. Like that is what you kind of can expect from Adoree Jackson. But the mental stuff, like if he's not like perfect, to use Fran's expression, if he's not nails with that stuff, then I mean, what are we doing?
Yeah, I agree. Getting beat by CD Lamb is not like a source of shame. I mean, Quinion Mitchell got beat by him a few times too, and that's something that like CD Lamb does to people. But yeah, the mental thing, you say, well, it's week 1, maybe he's going to figure it out. But like you're saying, with a veteran, how much is he going to figure it out?
And then the Miles Sanders run is to me an even bigger deal.
That's like one of the most horrendous fills for like he is the only unblocked guy there. Yeah. Like he has to understand like that run wasn't even like run very well. Like they didn't execute it very well. They ended up wasting one of the linemen on that, and they didn't have the numbers that they should have had. Adoree Jackson's completely unblocked, and he like tried to tackle Jihaad Campbell for some reason and fell down. I mean, it was horrendous.
It did kind of look like a turn down in a way that you don't see Eagles defensive players have anymore. That felt like a personality clash with like what we have come to expect from a Vic Fangio.
For sure.
And that's one where the whole team sees it. That's if that happens again, then I would imagine that's it. That's kind of how I feel.
Yeah, no, for sure. Speaking of young guys and mental mistakes, I thought Drew Makuba looked really good.
Okay.
Fangio said that he had a couple of major busts that hurt us and could have hurt us more. Yeah. And I was like looking for those on film. One of them, I think I know. The other one, I'm very confident about.
Call those.
What's up?
You know what they call them?
Oh no! What do they call them?
Dolly Partons.
Oh, no. All
right. That's bad.
I was hoping at least it would be a pun or something.
I mean,
I'm
sorry.
No, it's okay.
I feel like that actually would hit for Vic.
That's probably right. Maybe that's what he calls them.
Yeah.
So it's so hard to talk about cover 3 and cover 6 after that.
Welcome to my life.
Oh man. Third to last play. They threw that corner route to Schoonmaker. And Zach Bond and Cooper DeJean looked like heroes on the play. They were awesome. Like Cooper DeJean, like they both kind of scrambled back from their underneath zones to break that up. And the reason that they needed to do that is because Quinyon was stressed by the fact that Mukuba dropped to the post when he wasn't supposed to. I'm pretty sure that was like a cover 6, and he thought it was cover 3, and he just did the wrong thing. Like that's the kind of thing like you're going to expect from a rookie. That's one play out of however many. But yeah, hopefully we won't see any Dolly Partons in the future.
Did you see the comment from T. Dutton here? It says, this conversation is top notch. All business. ZB would be proud.
Oh yeah.
Like, literally, as he typed,
Yeah, we're talking about Zach Bond.
Yeah.
As he types
That's
that,
right.
you just completely derailed the conversation. Like he was so happy. We were all ball, and you just.
I think Zach Bond would appreciate this conversation.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know what he's into.
I thought you guys were gonna have Vic Fangio doesn't blitz at all as a swooper, so I didn't have it. I didn't want to repeat. But I thought it was interesting that he panicked and called a blitz on that last play.
Yeah.
I mean, that's something,
blitz.
he did that. He did that against Carolina. It was the last time he called cover 0. It's still the last time he's called cover 0. Yes. He still hasn't called it since. Okay. And that's the one where Slay got beat and the rookie dropped the ball in the end zone. I was just trying to remember his name. 5 blitzes in this game. And Prescott was 3 of 4, had a PI on the 5th one. The only one was the drop on the last one. So the blitzing didn't go very well. I don't know if that's going to be one where Vic looks at that and says like, okay, that probably wasn't a good idea, and not do that late in the game again. But
okay. We're not quite there yet.
Well, I can give you a random leftover thought that I had while we were actually talking about the Chiefs defense.
Okay.
Christian Fulton. Do you know the memory that's seared into my brain with Christian Fulton?
Can I guess?
Yeah, you could probably guess it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh no, if you think I can guess it, then it's not what I think.
It's something that happened in a game. You don't remember what Christian Fulton should kind of be infamous for?
In an NFL game?
Mm-hmm. Against the Eagles.
Oh wait, now I feel like I should know.
It was. Now I got to double check, triple check. I have it here. Yeah. Christian Fulton gave up the rare combination of a I don't have it.
This is the AJ against Tennessee?
Yeah, he gave up the rare combination of a 40-yard touchdown, an illegal contact penalty, and he got injured against AJ Brown on an out and up. Do you remember this?
Yeah. On the same play, that's right.
An out and up, and AJ just runs through him, draws an illegal contact penalty on Christian Fulton, injures him, and then catches a touchdown anyway.
I associated him with Ben Solak because Ben Solak thought that he was going to be the next Deion Sanders. So that's paraphrasing, but
shout out to Ben Solak.
There you
go. That's not a great shout out for him, but
I mean, I still like the guy.
Yeah, Ben's great.
Yeah,
that's all.
Yep.
All right. What did you think of the way that they used the D line with no Jalen Carter?
Yeah, lots being made of Josh Uche. Without Jalen Carter, it basically meant that Moro Ojomo and Jordan Davis played a lot, right? Like very few snaps for Gabe Hall. He played 5 or something. Byron Young played a little more than that. Obvious pass down situations. There were 16 of them. Ojomo's on the field for all 15 or the 16 or something like that. He and Jordan Davis got gassed on the last drive, so Gabe Hall and Byron Young both came in for a snap or two. But other than that, it was them the whole time. I thought the defensive end usage was a little surprising. I don't know how much of it is Jalix Hunt is dealing with something, but they seem to want Josh Uche on the field over Jalix Hunt. Those are the 16 obvious pass, 13 snaps for Nolan Smith, 12 for Uche, and only 7 for Jalix Hunt, and none for Patrick Johnson. Zadarius Smith coming in, Fangio is not a big fan of these guys who don't like training camp and stuff. He didn't seem to be super excited about Zadarius Smith's the way that he's joining the team right now. Yeah. I doubt he'll outsnap Josh Uche in this game, for example. Right?
That's probably right.
Yeah,
I think he'll be fourth.
He made a big deal about the fact that he hasn't put pads on since January 14th. So, and I take him at his word. I think he needs some time to get up to speed.
Yeah. No, I think that's right. The other thing about D-line usage, especially when
we're going to get to the other thing about D-line usage, Dana, is in
overtime.
Wow.
How long was the meeting when you guys decided to rebrand it as Bovertime?
Oh, there was no meeting. He's rogue.
I mean, ever seen the show before?
No, I mean,
I thought that was funny. BG was talking about like what makes
great
you
job,
sore.
by the way. BG show, BG Unblocked. Everybody should subscribe, watch,
How about this guy?
resubscribe. It was awesome. I love BG. So
He's the best. He was talking about like what you get sore with in the first week of the season. He's the hands.
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Found
that
it
was interesting. Yeah, hands.
So we'll see how Darius Smith can recover.
Quick complete derail here on the BG podcast. He talked about like how you should call people, just like, just check in on people when you think about them. I've done that a couple times this week, like tangible improvement in my life. So thank you to you. For
I
the podcast
agree with that.
And he's saying call, right? Like not text.
I have taken it as a text thing, but I have done that too. Where it's like I'm thinking about this person right now. I'm going to send a text now, because I might just forget later.
I did that with one of my best friends yesterday, and I was so glad I did it.
How long did you end up talking?
Like 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah,
that can
be really good.
Yeah.
Somebody in the Discord said the same thing about how that, they took that advice and it worked out very well.
I'm old enough to remember when you didn't have texting and social media and all those things as like a constant way to think you're staying in touch with friends. And we would see each other more. We would talk more on the phone. And I think one thing that happens now, and I'm not the first to say this, is you think you're in touch with somebody because you're following them on Instagram or something.
Instagram
yeah, you liked their thing or whatever, and maybe they wrote you a 3-line emoji filled response or something, and you think that you're communicating with them, and people don't like being called anymore, like they want the text and all that, but it can be really special when you call somebody.
Yeah,
so, I thought that was really cool.
That's a toxic trait of mine. I will call you without any warning.
I don't mind that. Sometimes I can't.
It's with
have the conversation.
It's with the people who I'm like, if I'm really close with you, I'll call you out of the blue, and it is just, I don't know. I think I guess I'm a chronic don't answer the phone also, which is a bad combo. But I don't know, if we're close enough, I'm gonna call you just to check on you. So
you can call me anytime, EJ.
We talk a lot.
That's true.
I feel like by the time we get out of the studio, do I need to call you to check on you? I know how you're doing.
You think you don't?
Yeah, maybe. Okay, all right. Maybe I'll give you a call.
You don't know what's bubbling under the surface.
You've got the audio messages from me too, and that's like a
real that
that
I don't know.
I send voice.
That I've never voice message. I don't know.
I drive a lot.
I don't mind the voice message, but I do I can't pause it and play it again, right? Like once you start playing it, you hit keep?
I think you can, but it's just, I don't know. That's a big thing in Turkey. Everybody does the WhatsApp voice message. And I'm just like, I can't, I'm not in a position where I can listen to this now. Because I'm like, I'm in a meeting or something. Yeah, but it's not very good in
your meetings.
That's true. I'm not in that many meetings. I'm in 2 meetings a year. It's true. I'm very lucky. But WhatsApp, the WhatsApp transcribing is not very good in Turkish.
The iMessage one's pretty good. Also, VG.
It's just not good in Turkish. It's fair.
Yeah. I have to call you to wish you a good night. Are you familiar with this trend?
I have seen this. Yeah,
it's good.
It's good.
I might do that to you.
Sure.
Yeah.
I was thinking it might make good content for me to do the BG schedule for a week. Wake up at 5, go on a really long bike ride, not eat from 6 p.m. to noon.
Insane. Insane.
I might drop dead.
That's crazy. It's great. It's great that he's
as you
going the healthy route, but it's crazy.
Okay. Jihaad Campbell, what'd you think?
Jihaad Campbell lined up on the edge 12 times. A lot of people were wondering about that, and Fangio was asked about why he's the one on the edge and not Zach Bond like it was last year, and he said Bond is more capable of handling the middle part of that job, whereas Nakobe did it last year with Bond on the line of scrimmage. It was that classic Fangio, I'm going to have 5-man fronts in nickel when you're not expecting it, and I'm going to have 6-man fronts in base when you're not expecting it, right? By adding that linebacker. And Jihaad Campbell was that guy 12 times. 7 times there was a 5-man front in nickel. 3 times they passed out of that, and all 3 of those, Jihaad Campbell rushed the passer. So 3 times we saw him rush the passer. I wouldn't really call those blitzes because he's on the line of scrimmage, but he is a fifth guy rushing, and he's not a D lineman, so it counts as a blitz. And then you've got 5 times he was the 6th guy on the line in base. And I thought he held up well, when he was in those situations. But the most encouraging play was that one Tampa 2 call, right? Where he ends up running with the tight end. And that's one where you're like, well, if he's not, the middle linebacker, why is he doing that? That's one where they're in a base coverage. Jalen Hunt drops. And the reason Jalen Hunt is dropping is because of the formation on the offense. And then that turns Jihaad Campbell into the Mike linebacker because like he was on the side that Jalen Hunt is on. Zach Bond ends up being on the other side. And so he has to run with that tight end. And it's a cover 2 call by Fangio. I think he had something like 6 of them all of last year. And this was the only one in this game. But I mean, the fact that he can run with that guy is awesome, right? And we've heard a lot of people, Sean Syed included, talking about how like that's actually the strength of Jihaad Campbell's game, like his ability to cover in space. And it's just awesome to have 2 linebackers who can cover. I mean, it's crazy because Zach Bond had the one like a few plays later where he did the same thing. That was a cover 4, but it was still like very similar where he had to carry that vertical. So I thought Jihaad Campbell was good. He did have some trouble, I thought, against the run. Yeah. Like, we talk about like the really high success rate on the run by Dallas. And part of that was that Jihaad Campbell was getting swallowed up by climbing linebackers a little bit too often. Like, I wouldn't say it was to the level of like Zach Bond against Atlanta last year, where you noticed that was the reason. Yeah. But there was a lot of like, they kind of knew where he was going to be and they were able to take him out of the play quickly. Whereas Zach Bond now is like so savvy at avoiding those linemen and at least making the running back change course. I thought like there were a few times when it was just like a little too clear where Jihaad Campbell was. And also on outside runs, he seems like a half second slower than everyone else to see it. Fran mentioned that. And so I was looking for it more because I heard Fran say it before, but you really can see it on film where it's like Zach Bond's already flying the right way and Jihaad Campbell's like a little bit behind him. Just give him time, man. Like you can tell he's like super, super talented and is going to be good at that. So
now, do you agree with my theory that like Vic Fangio is going to start running a bunch of like Tampa 2 and now it's going to be popularized across the league, but they don't have athletic linebackers to actually run this system?
That would be shocking because he's never been a Tampa 2 guy and he still really isn't. He ran Tampa 2 against Washington in the NFC Championship game, and I noticed it from the stands, and I was like trying to convince people that it was like really interesting because he like hadn't run it in like 2 months, and when it didn't go very well, but people were still excited about Saquon for some reason, but it was like seeing it on film, and it was like Jaden Daniels like held the ball for so long because he was so shocked. So wait a second. He's like, wait, like both of the safeties are like going over the top, like that's so weird. And so I mean, to have these linebackers and to have that flexibility is awesome. Another thing we saw schematically that I thought was good, especially when Uche was on the field, they ran a lot of stunts, like a lot of stunts that worked. In some cases didn't work in others, but it was encouraging to see like the late shifting of the D line. Every time Jihaad Campbell, like I mentioned 12 times he was on the D-line. I think on 10 of them, it was at the last second that they shifted the line. So like Jalen Hunt was standing up and then he tucked in and Jihaad Campbell came out. That can really mess with like, the blocking assignments in the run game. Lane Johnson's talked about that. So that was interesting to see, but also the stunting. Mahomes and the Chiefs' offensive line got destroyed by Charger stunts last week, and they had major issues with it. And so, like, Mahomes got hit really hard by the defensive tackle on one of them. Jawan Taylor got a holding call on one of them. So that's something that I'd expect them to continue to do.
Congratulations to Kay Taylor, who just became a member of the Supporters Club. You, too, can become a supporter on the Supporters Club. You get the custom emojis, you get extra content, all that good stuff. Very exciting stuff. And I will also take this opportunity to remind you that it is a big month for big brothers, big sisters. The push here is sign up to become make a big difference in the community. If you've got some extra time on your hands, no better way to do it. We go to the super chat. Fresh Prince says there is a new weekly guest on the Ringers Philly Special podcast. I think his name is Back Zerman. He has a lot of siblings, but he said Bo was a great friend. He had plenty of compliments for EJ. Sounds nice for that person.
Handsome podcast host on that Ringers Philly Special.
I think Shield's good looking.
Yeah, good looking guy.
I've been inviting Shield to see Dogtooth with me, by the way. Those of you who are, sickos from the beginning.
On movie recommendations for him. He doesn't seem to care about it, but he's going to hate that movie.
Well, that's kind of part of the point.
I understand, yeah.
She'll text me to tell me that if I was doing the pregame podcast with him, I would have never gotten into a position to throw my wife under the bus for her wardrobe recommendations. He said, "See, I would have never let that get there. I would have dug you out of that hole."
I mean,
So, he did have me thinking, like, is Bo team content over everything?
no, not in the same way. I'm team what makes me laugh.
Not what's great, not what's best for my
It's
marriage.
content. It's
Or
content
good for the numbers.
It's content for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Team content for me over
Yeah.
everything. That's what I am. Okay. Last thing here is just the Chiefs offense. What do we need to expect?
I mean, they were really bad in the first half and good in the second half against the Chargers. They were able to recover a little bit. They seem to be actively trying to.
I don't need him tampering with my new employee, by the way. My new partner.
Still on this. I mean, Sheila and I, we talk.
He's tampering.
Listen, he's
this is toxic.
I don't know what's going on between these two
Trying to
shows.
agitate. Cliff, I'm telling you.
we got to get Cliff over here. We got to get him on the pod.
The fact that it basically ended up being a 1-for-1 trade between you guys is
well,
messing.
that's what you think until we announce that Sean Syed's going to be joining us.
Oh wow,
Cliffy too.
I don't know where I'm going to end up, but
And I'm also thrilled to announce that joining us on the postgame show this week will be Naya Kapadia.
she iced you out.
Hates me.
Yeah, I'm about to say you couldn't get her.
No chance. So crush me.
Yeah, I would be
Worst I've felt about myself in years.
I wouldn't have spoken the name. Now she's gonna come after you.
there's a question in the chat about EJ's use of the abacus. I thought the abacus use was great.
What did you?
I don't know about my my Amish auction. That wasn't an Amish auction.
We don't know about that.
Yeah, I mean, my second one. Listen, Andrew, I don't want to accuse you of talking to Fran before the show or anything like that. I thought my instructions were pretty clear that it was an all-pay auction, and you guys just ran it as a normal one. I will say that historically, Fran has tended to famously blow like 25 turkeys on those. And
wait, the one that was a swooper out was a
no. The one that was Jalen Hurts has more scrambles or whatever. That was supposed to be all pay, and you guys just ran it normally. So. I'm just giving you guys a chance to accuse Fran of.
I think this
little behind the scenes.
I think Fran's always cheating.
Yeah.
He gets so serious with swooper. Like he is like there's a darkness that comes over him as soon as we start.
Yeah. Well, I hope he paid you well, Andrew.
All right, Chiefs offense.
Yeah, Chiefs offense. We were talking about earlier, like without Rashee Rice, without Xavier Worthy, they don't really have the talent on the outside to be a team that throws it deep, and they just didn't really seem to have the ability to protect in certain situations in that first half. Mahomes was kind of running for his life and then trying to throw it deep to Tyquan Thornton. They looked better in the second half, but they continue to not be like a very scary looking roster, right? Like Travis Kelce's not quite what he was before. You like the offensive line, especially the Jawan Taylor was terrible in that game. And I just think like it's not going to be like the Super Bowl, right? They're not going to have 20 straight unsuccessful plays. Like that's just not ever, that might not ever happen again in any NFL game. Like, I mean, that's just crazy. But I'm not looking at that offense and being like, oh man, like this is a scary looking group. I really thought that they would make more improvements to it. And they just don't. I don't know if it's like just Andy trusting his quarterback and his play calling and thinking that that's going to just like kind of fix everything. But I'm very curious, given how historically terribly it went for them in the Super Bowl, if they're just going to try to completely change what they did, and I don't really know what that would be. But, they started with like a couple of cool RPOs in that game. They abandoned the run really early. I don't know, like one of the things he might do is, and I know BG was talking about this with you on BG Unblocked, like they didn't really try to run it in the Super Bowl. Even though the score wasn't out of control immediately. I think they're going to try to run it more in this game.
Yeah.
Like I think they're going to try to establish the run more early and try to do stuff off of play action and RPOs because they don't have the talent to win like maybe the way they used to. So I don't know. That's my thought from seeing that first game. And again, it wasn't a disaster on offense for them like it was on defense, but I don't know. I just have trouble like there's this like very big difference between like the image of Mahomes and the Chiefs and what they've really been for the last couple of years. Like they just haven't been that good. And
I mean, they did win 2 Super Bowls.
No. I mean the last. Basically the last year.
Yeah.
So they were awesome in 2022. Like coming into that Super Bowl against the Eagles, like they had the best offense in the league by a mile. And last year wasn't even close to that. They were like a very average offense.
What really stands out is like when you look at how each team has used their, I'd say, first 3 rounds of draft picks in each of the last few years, especially like since Super Bowl 57. Like you look at the Eagles, it's like Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Tyler Steen, Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, Jalen Hunt, Jihaad Campbell, Andrew Makuba. And with the Chiefs, it's like Felix Anudike Uzoma, Rashid Rice.
Right. Can't get on the field.
Yeah. Right. Xavier Worthy, who's currently injured, Kingsley Suamataia, and then Josh Simmons and Omar Norman Lott. There's just not like the level of difference makers that the Eagles have added.
Not as much volume.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a fair point. Is like they haven't had as many bites at the apple, especially like the Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith. I mean, even Quinyon and Cooper DeJean, they traded up for Cooper. So the Eagles have had higher picks, but even still, like looking at the group that they've added since Super Bowl 57, it kind of does make sense how we got to this point where it feels like the Eagles have that talent advantage.
I just think that some of that is, I mean, the Eagles had an extra top 10 pick they got to use on Jalen Carter. As you said, they were higher, in the Quinyon Mitchell year. They have probably had a higher hit rate, but the Chiefs are generally drafting at the back end of the round.
Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Anything else?
Eagles wearing white on white. I don't know if that does anything for you, but 7-2 under Sirianni, wearing white on white. The only 2 losses at Vegas in 21, and the horrendous playoff loss in Tampa Bay in 2023. So, and the Chiefs have not been 0-2 since 2014, if that means anything. That was Andy's second year, the only year that he missed the playoffs.
There you go.
There it is. The Eagles wearing white at home next week, by the way. This is going to be the first time in 10 years. I'm guessing the whole show next Friday will be about this, but just the shocking revelation that they're going to be wearing white at home for the first time in 10 years. 1 p.m. game on a September. I guess they think it'll be hot. I don't know. I mean, they've had 10 years of not doing this, so just a kind of very surprising development.
No idea why.
I don't know.
I got nothing.
You'll have to dig into that, EJ. Yeah, ask around.
Investigation.
I mean, listen, people make fun of me for the uniform stuff. Like, people care about the uniform stuff.
Oh, of course.
So, I mean, that's that is one that if you did ask around and find out, I think it would be of interest. But
see what I can find out.
Don't let him tell you what to do.
Nah, it was just I just thought,
Be your own man.
Oh, okay. It's rich coming from you.
What? Like I'm not my own man?
I'm gonna leave this. I'm gonna leave it alone.
No. Let's get into it.
We don't need to litigate.
What are we talking about here?
I don't know. No, I'm not doing this. No.
Wow.
You get to fly away tomorrow. You can evacuate from the shrapnel of whatever it is you need to drop here.
No, listen. I'm gonna help Deniz if I can help Deniz. I'll figure it out. It's not like he's like, EJ, you need to do this.
Don't look at me. I just said people like the uniforms.
The people want to know what you have to say.
Oh no, it's all right.
Wow, coward.
Wow.
Jeez. Backing off and slinking away.
We don't have to do this on the podcast. I don't have anything for you. No.
What do you mean?
I just, you are like the king of like the perceived slights, and now you're like, be your own man.
Oh, well, I mean, that's content.
Well, so it's also content.
I'm just saying, don't tell him what to do with your job.
Oh, no, I mean, if I can find out, I'll find out.
Yeah, but you might have more important stuff.
I'm not saying like don't do anything else. Like I'm just saying this is a thing.
Also, the Eagles was like a mandate from Deniz to figure this out. Just said, I'll see what I can find out.
Yeah, come on, Bo. We're just talking.
Come on, Bo.
The Eagles, by the way, have not announced the white thing. Like that's another reason that, So
it might not be correct.
No, it's correct because the Rams announced that they're wearing blue. They officially announced their uniform schedule for the whole season, and they announced that they're wearing blue. So you can't have both teams wearing blue since the Eagles are their uniform.
Black pants, because that's the Jalen.
They could be. We don't know. They haven't. We don't know the pants, but it's gonna be white uniforms because you can't wear anything else against blue. So there you go.
White with black pants. That's my guess.
So again, people in the chat asking, the Eagles have not announced it, but the Rams announced they're wearing blue. So that gives it away. All right.
They could just go no jerseys.
That would be interesting.
Just
Probably illegal.
shoulder pads, but nothing else. That could be fun.
I think that's what the lingerie league was. That was Mark Rippon's daughter.
You want to sell some tickets?
All right. Well, I don't know why I remember that Mark Rippon's daughter was in that, but
but Mark Rippon, of course, part of the Ospreys this year.
That's right. Eagles legend.
All right, that'll do it for this episode of the PHLY Eagles podcast. We are live on Sunday, taking you through everything on game day. We're going to have the kickoff show, the halftime show, and the post-game show with Jamie Lynch, Vinny Curry, Les Bowen joining us again. Looking forward to that. We'll have EJ Smith, who is very much his own man, joining us from Kansas City. So for the professor and EJ, I'm Bo. We thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Thank you to Andrew for making it all happen. Comment below. Tell us if you think EJ is his own man or not.
Don't do that.
And we will talk to you on Sunday. As always, we love you.
We all silly like the mayor.